Hey, good evening, everyone. John Henry Soto here. Welcome to Counterparts. As always, George Batista is in the house, and we are very excited today because we are launching something completely new that George and I have been working on for months. Well, I guess not months, probably years and years of our lives
Yeah, really.
building on this, putting it together, and we didn't realize we had anything until maybe 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. And we're going to launch something very exciting today, and we're very excited for you to be here. So thank you very much. Let's get the show on the road. Yeah, when you really think about it, though, we probably have been working on this since we were kids
Yes,
because
agreed,
all the experiences and all the learning, all the
agreed.
mistakes, um,
Yes.
all the successes, all the failures, it's something that you really start putting together. And if you're aware enough, and we were just talking about awareness before we came on the air, if you're aware enough, you're able to put those things together and really so it can help someone else,
Right,
but as you're
right.
going through the thing, the main thing is that if you're going through it, you're not really focused. Okay, how can I document this so I can help someone? Because you're going through it.
Right, because you're going through it.
It
Exactly.
may be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But if you're able to at least go back, and remember where you were and kind of have those moments,
Mhm.
and if you kind of rise above your own kind of stuff and say, what, I'm going to start focusing on things that happen because I think it's going to help somebody in the
Right.
future.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that's what I've been doing you know, the last 20 years of my life was really being focused on what I'm doing and how I can help someone by documenting whatever it is I'm going through. So
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
very excited about that. So, um, we don't really have a format for today. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you what we're talking about, and then we're gonna break it down into what it is. It's not available. It'll be available at the end of the month, just so you know what this is. But we're very excited, and we're taking this. George and I are taking this to the next level because we've sort of hit a ceiling. As much as we love interviewing our guests and we love, chatting and stuff, we want to kind of expand. We want to be able to have an umbrella with other pieces attached to it, and we can do more things and really be able to help more people. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's very accurate, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, you're absolutely right. It's something we've been really it's interesting how even just coming to this part that we're talking about now, how we little by little, even the last 2 years, have been piecing this together with all the different conversations and all the different things,
Yeah.
and we've been documenting and writing down and all this, taking all that information that we had since we were young, and then kind of these past years going, wait a minute,
Yeah.
let's do this, and then just yeah,
Right.
incredible.
Yeah, because we don't realize what you have, and you have to look at it sometimes, and you say, everyone has something to help someone else,
Right.
right? Everyone has reached something that they can help someone else. How they use that, or they can help maybe just their family and friends. Other people want to create businesses to help others. And our passion, we didn't even know when we started. When we started doing this, we didn't know that it was really artists. We
Yeah.
really are
Mhm.
focusing on the artist and want to elevate the artist and their experience and give them um, a safe place to come to have their conversations. Like when we bring an artist here, and be able to give them not just exposure, but also have their experiences go out through these airwaves and help others.
Right.
And that to me is really what our purpose is. And we
Correct.
didn't really realize that. We're like, oh yeah, duh, we love helping artists. I mean, we love helping everyone. You know what I mean. And we've said this before. Everyone is an artist. in some fashion. Maybe they
Correct.
haven't unveiled it, or maybe they haven't found it, or maybe it's been suppressed, or whatever it is. um, Everyone's an artist, and I think that that's important for us to kind of explain that this is not just, oh well, they only do artists. No, 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 it's not. It's, people that are in business are, there's an art to business, there's an
Right.
art to being in the health industry,
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
the fitness industry, in the, all the other ones. There's the ones that you would think are not, a chiropractor, like you could have one chiropractor that's way better than another,
True.
right? Because
True.
one of them is really, it's almost like an art. You kind of,
Yes.
someone else will just say like, well, this is the job I wanted, or the job, and just cracking people's bones, but there is an art to all that as well. So I think that that's what we want to communicate right off the bat.
Absolutely.
um, I think what we're going to do first is, we're going to, we're so prepared, right? We have everything here, so we are prepared. But we're gonna just talk a little bit about what we put together. So, George, why don't you talk a little bit about it, and then I'll chime in on what we've actually been putting together and working towards.
So yeah, so John and I, like John said, we've been, this is something we've been working on. In this, I mean, it's a blueprint basically. It's a blueprint on how what an artist needs in many facets, whether it's health, whether it's doing stuff in the industry, whatever it is that they need to do. And we, because John and I have been there and through and touched on all these different things, we wanted to kind of give back and say, this is our experience, this is what we know, this is what we've been through, this is what we've done, and this is like, this is what we would like to give back. So again, this, and it's this nice little blueprint that an artist can use to just really achieve a lot of different things in whatever they're doing. It can apply to life. You can apply this to anything, really. You can
Yeah,
apply it to anything, but it's a great philosophy, I think, that we've
yeah,
kind of have here, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and it's also a work in progress too, because I think
correct.
that it's not like, okay, this is it. It's like there
Yeah,
are gonna be things that are gonna be a little changed, a little bit, things that are gonna be a little, updated, maybe,
hmm,
but we we took our experiences as artists and the challenges, and we kind of, because I've also worked with a lot of artists as well, and I've been, we've been out there seeing, really, we sat down here a couple of times, I mean, not a couple of times, a thousand times, and we kind of like listed things that we kind of saw were missing. Like
yes,
this would really
yes,
help an artist.
yes,
Like, because I don't think that they're so focused on the art, which is good,
right,
but there's also their business side. There's
hmm,
also their health. There's
yes,
also the mindset. There's also the being able to deal with suppression,
right,
being able to love yourself as an artist and love others. All those things are something that we knew, not we knew for ourselves. I knew that I didn't have all those pieces when
hmm,
I was younger,
right,
and when I was trying, and I was like, if I had those pieces in place, I would have done a lot better, creatively and success wise,
right.
and I think that's one of the reasons why we wanted to put this together, and we're developing it. It will be out officially at the end of the month. But anyway, let's just talk about it now. So George and I put together, what we're calling, and I'm going to put it on the top of our heads. We're calling it the Healthy Artist Blueprint. Ta-da! Did I spell that right?
Ah, we should have had a
Yeah, we
ta-da.
should have like, yeah. We don't have applause here,
Right.
right? We should have like an applause button. Yeah, fake applause button. Who cares? But so okay, so this is what it is. It's called the Healthy Artist Blueprint. and it is a step-by-step guide to becoming a healthy artist. And by healthy, one of
That's
the things that, yeah, we
right.
want to make
That's
sure
the
that,
little thing that we have to clarify because people
right,
always think obviously healthy is just in terms of, let's say, health as far as physical health and that type of stuff. But
correct,
there's many different facets of health,
correct. And
and
we're gonna,
yeah,
yeah, I'm sorry, I have to, so I have the what actually explains it. So,
right,
by healthy, we do not mean just physically, although that is a portion of this blueprint. What we mean is to have a complete control of how you operate as an artist. We have taken the word healthy and broke it down into a system to help you get full control of your artistic journey. This blueprint will help you avoid those nasty pitfalls we fell into, and
yeah,
give you the mindset and tools to only focus on the success as an artist, on your success as an artist. Let's begin. So the important thing about that is that, what we spent a lot of time on things that didn't mean anything. I'll
correct.
speak for myself, but I think
Sure,
George
sure,
will
no,
attest to
sure,
it. We on a lot of things that did not mean anything to the forward motion of the full group that we were in, or
yeah,
our own personal development as far as our artistic developments. And you end up focusing on things that you read about or you see other people doing, and you think that that's the thing. Then
mhm,
somebody else says do this, and you go, oh, maybe that's the thing. And
right,
that's and you start kind of trying to figure out, well, what is the thing. So this is why this is such a great thing that I feel that we're doing, is because we're creating this blueprint not only for others to utilize, but for us. This
correct,
is
correct.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm young. I still can do this. I'm doing the wave, the dance wave. So I could still move. I could still do things. I'm not going anywhere. I'm very excited to continue. And this is something that now it's something that, okay, now we can actually really put this into play, not only for others, but for us as well. And it is a free download. We're going to be giving this away. We thought in our simple minds, we thought, well, we'll do like a one page. Right? Remember we were talking about one page. I said we're gonna put together. We're talking about like putting together one page that's gonna give you like a full blueprint. So we are not completed yet, and we're at 25 pages. So this is we are really breaking this down into smaller increments of workable tools that we know are going to help help an artist. You know,
I mean, I think one of the keys is this, and and one of the words in there is system,
system.
system, because
Correct.
a lot of times, and it's something that I've done in recent years, of try to create a system in doing certain things, because really
Right.
when you create a system, it is in and of itself a blueprint, right?
Sure.
System where you
Yeah.
this is a system how to do this is a system how to do that, that type of thing.
Yeah. Well,
And
you
that
get lost if you don't have it.
exactly, because you're absolutely right. You're like, and even in some of the, like, the you could look at, we've talked about it before. We've been in multi-level marketing companies, right? You and
Yes.
we did that how many years ago, right? But
Yeah.
what they do have is systems.
It's a system.
They have a system that you follow, that that's workable,
Right.
that you need to get to it from point A to point
Right.
B.
And
So that's one of the keys.
that is one of the keys. And for the whole level network, what's it called?
Network
Multi
marketing, whatever. Yeah,
multi yeah, network marketing. A lot of people knock that industry, because it's, whatever. But, there's a lot of money in there, and they do have a system in place. And if you do put the system into place, if you can get yourself to do it, I've always struggled to do it because I didn't have any passion for a
right.
lot of those things. It wasn't like I didn't wake up in the morning thinking of a lot of those things. And I've done a lot of them. I've
Yeah,
tried
yeah,
them. Some of them were good. I made some money on some of them. Some of them were just, I couldn't get my brain to actually want to do them, right? But a system is in place, and they
exactly.
will teach you that system. And if
Right,
you
right.
are passionate about, maybe you're only passionate about making money. And if you're
Mhm.
passionate about making money, then implement that system,
Yes.
whatever it is, and it will actually generate money because they've already proven that system. That's why the company is still there. That's
Right.
why it's generating billions of dollars, of revenue every year, because they have a system in place, right?
Correct. Correct.
So, Brian Pollock says, such great points about artists. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So okay. So like I said, we took the word healthy and we broke it down, and it's going to be broken down into different increments throughout. We're not going to do the whole thing here. Like I mentioned, we're up to about 25 pages, and so we're not going to go through 25 pages. We're only going to give you just an overall view of what the blueprint looks like. So here's what the word healthy that we broke it down to. We broke it down to health, eating slash exercise, artist, love, technology, havingness, which is a word that doesn't get utilized too much, and the word yes. Um, so we're gonna talk a little bit about help
Hmm.
uh, right now, and there are two forms of help, or two, I should say, two. I think I have it here actually. Un momento por some more. Talk, George. I just got to download something because it didn't download for some
Um,
reason.
la 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 la. How about this?
Okay, George cannot talk, so he is only going to
I'm
sing.
a better singer than I am a talker, and that's pretty bad too. John, why aren't you prepared? How dare you? But yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, and this in and of itself, it's a healthy system. If you
Right.
really think about it, this whole thing is a healthy system. And it's I always love that the concept of following a system, following things that people can do easily. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean, it makes things just a lot easier to confront,
exactly,
and I think that
exactly.
that's really the bottom line. It's really that, it's because
And this
there's
and
so
I
many
was going to say,
systems.
no, you're right. You're right. And this is a thing, part of this also is because you see, let's take a look at the artists when we talk about artists as musicians or actors and stuff. How many musicians and actors were amazing at what they did, just completely, really, really high on the scale as far as what they do, but they couldn't master the other parts of the system. They couldn't
Correct.
master those things, whether it was keeping healthy, right? How
Yeah.
many of them passed away because of drugs? How many of them were broke because, they just
Yeah,
got taken advantage of,
mismanagement of.
mismanagement and all those things.
Yeah.
So this type of thing, not, and again, it's not a cure all or, necessarily, because again, it's a work in progress, but is something that can kind of, it's that you can move towards in handling all those things on the way,
Yeah.
and I think
That-
that's the key.
yeah, and it attracts cats.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing,
Cat can use
Joe?
it.
Yeah. So I don't know. She's lonely. So all right. So anyway, I mentioned help. It's the first one, right? So our
Right.
first one is it's a first component that I was trying to get the word for, is a component. So there's two components to help, right? The first one is always being able to ask for help, right? It's a very powerful thing because I think we've been conditioned to some degree to like not want to ask for help. Like you
Yeah.
could do it yourself. You don't need help, or there's some kind of shame to someone who needs help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's really just a lot of BS. It's like, no, we all need help. And it,
Yeah.
the greatest businesses and in the world were not just one person. They were a group of people working together. They might have
Right.
been one person that was the force, right? The leader, the
Right.
founder,
Right.
but he knew, or she knew, that they had to find someone that was going to help them. So
Right.
being able to ask for help is very important, right? So it says, how can you be sure you're asking the right person? So this is another thing, right? This is where you have to be honest with yourself when approaching someone for help. Ask yourself, has this person made me feel good and confident about my goals after having a conversation with them? Really look at it, because it can be the most important part of your journey. Bottom line is, ask for help. So
Right.
that is like super important, because one of the the worst mistakes I've made probably was always asking the wrong person.
Yes. Right.
Someone that I
Right.
thought
Mhm.
someone that I thought was more sincere, in what I was trying to achieve,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
sometimes you'll ask someone for help, and it's so out reality for them that
Right.
they kind of glance it over, or they kind of just give you, oh yeah, that's cool, or I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, that's just so many people are doing that, and and they'll give you some kind of thing, and you have to be honest with yourself. I mean, this is the thing that not only and within help, again, there's going to be other components to that as well, but within help itself is also who's around, who's in your environment, right?
Of
It's that whole
course.
thing that they say, you are the five
You're
people,
the
or
5
you're
people you hang around with.
whatever. Yeah. So there's not some, there is 100% truth to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you hang around with like five people that are always complaining about being broke, there's a good chance you're going to be the sixth person that's broke in that group. You know what I mean? If
Correct. Correct.
It's the same thing with if you have people that are addicted to drugs, that are even have who are narcissistic, who are alcoholics,
Yeah. Yeah.
who don't like to save money, who only love money.
Right.
It's like whatever it is that you actually surround yourself with. So imagine going to someone and asking them for help about a goal that you have, but
Mhm.
they're in that condition.
Right.
What
Well,
kind of
it's
advice are you gonna get?
no, you're right, but it's also, and we talked about awareness, right? There's an awareness in it. Just the fact of knowing who to ask, like you said, there's an awareness just in that fact,
Yeah.
right? Because if there's somebody I know, and I would look at them and say, there's no way I can ask this person for help.
Right.
Because right? We all
Right.
we all have those people in our families. We have them as friends, right? You
Yeah, but
know that
sometimes
that's
people don't realize it because they're always
exactly, but
around.
right, and that's where the awareness comes in. So you have to
100%.
know who to go to, and that's the key to that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, because if God, I mean, gosh, how many artists have been demolished by
Yeah,
someone in their family, their friends, and it's usually family and friends that are, your worst
right.
people to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to.
you're absolutely right.
You know what I mean? And it's not that they don't love you, it's just that they do not see what you see because
Yes.
they have not even thought of doing that. I mean, how many people in your family, George and I are in the same family, right? But how many people in our family do a podcast once a week for years now?
Well, it's funny that we talked. How many people in our family do anything that we do?
Nothing.
Nothing,
Nobody.
nothing.
Nobody.
Right,
My brother is creative.
right, right.
Musically,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's that. But really, other than that, I can't think of anyone that's doing anything that we do, right? So why would I bring my goal? Like, imagine so George and I, we're thinking of starting a show online. We're going to talk about Star Trek, and we're going to have a weekly show where we're just going to talk about different episodes I mean, that's not going to fly well. People are, I mean, people that know me and know us,
Right,
they're
right.
probably going to be like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's fun. You guys, that's cute." Um, I didn't consult anybody when I did this. I
Yeah,
didn't sit down. It was just George and I decided to do it, and we just started.
yeah,
And that's the key
yeah.
thing. I mean, you're in charge. You can help you better than anybody can,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
when I say ask for help, it's only if you really need that help, and it's in the
Yes,
areas
yes.
that you actually need help in.
Yeah.
Like I need help with certain areas, like running sound for a film
Mhm,
or something. I'm not good at that. Lights,
mhm,
I'm not that good at that. So
mhm,
you get somebody to help with that, but you have to also make sure that when you're um, asking for help on a personal level, something that you're trying to achieve, that you first ask yourself,
mhm,
what is it about this that I cannot confront or that I
mhm.
cannot do?
Yes.
You know, and if
Yeah.
it's just because you're a little uncomfortable, we'll get over it,
Yeah.
right? Because this whole
Yeah.
business is uncomfortable, right? I mean,
Mhm.
everything in being an artist is just uncomfortable,
Yes.
because it's the only industry that immediately you're going to be judged, right?
Yes.
It's part of the package.
Yeah.
right? You go up
Hmm.
anywhere, you have to be judged, and whether you're judged harshly or favorably, whatever it is, you have to have the strength to keep going.
Right.
So no, you don't. A lawyer doesn't walk into a law. Often people are like, boo. Well, maybe some lawyers, but most of the time, an accountant or a doctor, they have their professions, but being an artist is very different, right?
Yes.
It comes, it's a very different thing. So anyway, that's the first component. So the second component is to realize that your life as an artist belongs to the world just as much as it does to you. Actually, it belongs to the world a little more. Why? Well, an artist can inspire others more. I wrote that wrong. See, these are the typos that I got. Inspire others, more individuals than any other activity on earth. So, what I was trying to say, this is good that we're reading this. An artist can inspire others more than any other activity on earth. More individuals. That's what it is. More individuals than any. So my point is on that. Well, let me finish reading it.
And he didn't
Um,
ask my help for this, by the way.
right. I didn't ask for help because I really felt inside that I didn't need help. And because George is so negative whenever I ask him for spelling advice, he's like, yeah, I'll spell it for you. No. Um, when you truly realize that you suddenly can understand the tremendous impact an artist can have in the world. Okay, so I got to clean that up. My point on that is
Yeah.
that being an artist can influence people more than anything else on earth.
Hmm.
Your art, if you look at everything that you see right now, right here, the font on the page, the background behind George, the background behind me, this shirt, this hat was all designed by someone being creative. There was an
Correct.
artistic factor to that. The logos that we have here, everything that you see, the design of our computers, the design of our cell phones. There's a creative element to every single thing that we actually put together.
Yeah.
So I say on this, just think of the responsibility you have as an artist. You must make yourself available to help other artists find success. How can any artist survive without artists creating alongside with them? So
Right.
that to me is part of the framework of being an artist is
Mhm.
to help others. Our job is to make the world feel better, do better,
Hmm.
uh, experience better, right?
Right. Right.
Have different viewpoints, challenge their viewpoints.
Right.
Even sometimes you may upset somebody, but if you're upsetting somebody, that means that you triggered something, and now a
Hmm.
conversation could be had, and then you can have actual a good actual conversation, and
Absolutely.
you can get something from that, So the help that we have to give to other artists is really the second component of help. We have to
Absolutely.
help people.
Yes.
It's the
Agreed.
only job an artist has is to help others.
Agreed. I mean, it's funny. I look at how many artists in this world have helped me, and it
Oh
could be
man,
artists that I never even spoke to or never even met
yeah,
because what they do has helped me, right? Like
yeah,
we can take music again. Music changed my life, and there are artists to this day that are even not even with us anymore, but I'll listen to them because I'm in a moment in my life where I need that. I'm in a
yeah,
moment in my life where when I listen to them, it just it's like I'm kind of, it's almost like an out of body experience because I'm feeling that, and they kind of put me back into present time and back into where I need to be.
yeah,
And that's helping me as
yeah,
the artist,
yeah,
right? That's what they did,
yeah. I
you
mean,
know?
that's why we're artists. It's because of
Yeah,
artists. you
absolutely.
know,
Yep. You're
it's
right.
like I
You're right.
remember the first time I heard, Santana and Clapton, and we heard Led Zeppelin, and we
Yeah.
George and I pretty much discovered Led Zeppelin together. It was like, whoa, what is this? Every album is incredible, every song is awesome. We were just like blown away by that creative force.
Right.
And so it's definitely that help that you never even know what your words or what what you are giving, how it's going to impact someone's life.
Correct.
The key thing is that you have to create it and you have to put it there and you have to continue
Yes.
continuously create and explore how to get it out to more people and
Right.
figure that out. And that's part of the job, is really to try to figure those things out. So
Absolutely.
that is the help portion. We're going to go into one more portion, which I think will take us probably to the end of our show, and then we're going to um, then we're going to dance. Hold on a second. All right. So
I'm
the
trying to figure out
second,
how to do that.
yeah, baila. All right. So the second one is eating. Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll go
Mm.
down eating fairly quickly and
Yep.
exercise,
Hmm.
and then we'll do the other ones and just give a little bit on each one,
Yeah.
because each one is a really big thing. Um,
Hmm.
so eating. This is something that eating and exercise. I don't think it gets really talked about at all. And George and I
Right.
sometimes crack up because we know how important it is to. When we were playing, we never ever went on stage drinking.
Right.
And like, I don't drink now. I
Mhm.
drank back then, but I didn't really drink that heavily anyway. But I never drank something. Yeah, but by drinking I mean alcoholic, obviously,
Mhm.
something,
Mhm.
like a
Right.
beer or something, before going on performing. I just
Right.
never thought that that was a good idea. I
Mhm.
don't like the feeling. I like to be more in control of my instrument and stuff, and being able to play with the band and aware. So that was one element of it. But eating well was also a big deal. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and I know that I went on stage sometimes when I was like a little hungry, and I know when I got off stage, I felt sick. I didn't
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, I really should have eaten something, because now I feel like crap.
Yep, it's so true. You don't realize it, and again, because the artist, and again, looking at it through the lens of the musician, for example, when you're on tour, when you're playing all these gigs and stuff like that, it's so easy to kind of just glance over. I'll get a quick candy bar or something, or I'll do something, not realizing how big a role eating good and eating well plays. And it does, and I don't care what people say, it does affect you as far as your artistry. It affects you. I know it affected me. It
Yeah.
absolutely affected me. If I
Sure.
didn't eat well that day, or if I didn't eat at all, or that's like you said, it completely affected me. So it's part of it. It's part of that. That's part of this whole package,
Yeah.
is also keeping yourself healthy. And this is the kind of the term healthy that a lot of people think about, right?
Right.
But this is
Right.
part of it. You got to
Because
do
it's
it.
a healthy mindset. It's a healthy body. It's a healthy
Right.
attitude. It's a healthy viewpoint. It's all that stuff. So George, I'm gonna you George
Yep.
actually put together the components for the eating and exercise portion of it. You can just break it down
Yep.
quickly, each one.
Absolutely.
I think this is the
Absolutely.
first one. Yeah, it was
Yep.
nutrition, basically.
Right. So yeah, so the nutrition. So proper nutrition is vital component to the artist. Oftentimes artists are exposed to unhealthy food, especially on the road, which can wreak havoc on energy and focus, which is what we were talking about. The human body requires daily essential nutrition just to overcome the stresses of life, which are physical, chemical, and emotional. Having a clear, uh, focused mind is vital for the artist to be able to create at their highest level. Eating a well balanced diet with a good amount of fruits and vegetables is a key component of essential nutrition. A multivitamin, multi mineral supplement is also a great way to provide the essential nutrients and protect against gaps in the overall nutrition. So yeah, so it's pretty much laid out there. But again, our bodies run on this stuff,
Right.
and if you don't have the raw materials for to perform and to especially if you're doing high energy stuff,
Yeah.
you're going to feel it, and it's going to affect your art.
Yeah.
you know?
Second one,
Second one,
hydration.
hydration. I
This
mean,
is like a big one.
how big is that? I mean, adequate water is so essential, and part of the reason is because I put there the human body loses valuable vitamins and minerals in the detoxification process brought on by, again, the stresses of life, chemical, emotional, physical stresses. Right? I mean, it could even be anything from the rigors of touring, carrying the stuff in and out, the late nights. playing gigs. You and I, John, played gigs at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning where we didn't get much sleep, right?
Yep.
So hydration, you're playing a physically demanding show, as I say there. Okay. Keeping hydrated well not only allows the body to cope with the stress, it will also provide the body with enough energy to perform at the highest level. You gotta hydrate.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
gotta hydrate.
Number three, restoration.
Restoration. So
Okay.
this is
This is
something
where
that, yeah,
yeah, this is the sleep component. Okay, and again, talking about not sleeping enough. I mean, adequate sleep is crucial for the creative process. And sleep, remember, sleep is where you detoxify, right, from the physical demands of the previous day. You have what's called a lymphatic system when we're talking about the mind, right? So there's a lymphatic system and glymphatic system. The glymphatic system drains your brain. Okay, so this is what drains your brain, and this is what gives you, when you have a good night's sleep, you have a refreshed feeling when you wake up in the morning. You're more energized, your immune system is working better, and that type of thing. So, this is the key to making sure getting a good night's sleep, again, through the rigors of playing and touring, as best as possible is very important. Number four, we have motion. Okay, now, as a drummer, I had to make sure that all my limbs were were I was healthy as far as my body was, because I remember you're pounding and you're doing all these things, requires a lot of moving your joints and all this. So exercise is absolutely crucial. Okay, you have to maintain healthy body weight, healthy joints, and and help the joints, keeping that healthy. You can avoid the pain that often comes with long hours of performing. You and I have performed in the studio for hours doing this, right? So things like Tai
10 hours.
Chi. Yeah, absolutely. Tai Chi, yoga, doing some light body weight training is an excellent way to keep the joints lubricated. Because remember, all the joints in the vertebrae need the liquid and the lubrication in order to keep healthy and to maintain also a healthy heart, obviously.
Cool.
Okay. And number five, we have relaxation. Okay. And this is the component that people have the most problem with, I think, because again, constant stress, right? The physical, chemical, emotional stresses, again, everybody has to face. So you have to take that time to decompress and relax. Okay. The artist oftentimes is compelled to constantly strive to attain new goals, to constantly, but sometimes they negate that part where they have to kind of calm. So I often say things like meditation, things like just being quiet, getting that space between the thoughts is really key to the creative process. And those meditations, sitting quietly and just deep breathing, can slow the breath, quiet the mind, which is essential to finding body homeostasis, or what's called body and mind balance.
Okay.
So those are my, healthy keys as far as just nutrition and all that stuff. But again, stuff that we really got to work on,
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is what the blueprint is going to be based on, and we're going to have the components, each one of these breaking down the word healthy. We're going to be talking about an artist. We're also going to be talking about what it means to be an artist. What is an artist? And George and I talked about this months ago. We were trying to figure out how to communicate artists, and I think we put together a really good and smart way of looking at the artist, and also being proud to be an artist and being
Yeah.
happy about it. And there's a lot of things that come with being an artist that we have to kind of battle through, and sometimes it can be things that are not true, things that have been told to us to be
Mhm.
true. Like the starving artist
Right.
lie that's told to us. The party art, the musician, the rock musician that has to drink and party because that's what you do, right?
Mhm.
No, that's not what you do. You create art, right? You create your music and you do it at a high level. Yeah, people talk about, yeah, but look, Jimi Hendrix became a legend. I think Jimi Hendrix was dead at 27.
Yeah,
Jimi
exactly.
Hendrix really could have been given us so much more. I look at guys back then that made it through the drugs and all stuff, like Eric Clapton, for instance. I mean, Eric Clapton was heavy into drugs and did a lot of crazy things, and he managed to stop. He managed to get himself
Right.
cleaned up,
Right.
and now he's 70 something years old, still making music. Hendrix could have been still making music at this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, they were the same age. They would have been around the same age. So,
Exactly.
so we talk about that. We talk about love, and love. It really comes a lot with. There's a lot of elements to love, and we try not to break it down in a cheesy way. but the way we wanted to break it down was the love of what you're actually doing,
Hmm.
because you have to really love the process. If you do not love the process, and if you do not get up in the morning excited about whatever it is that you're doing, then you have to stop for a second and find something you love and
Hmm.
do that and do it well until you can transition over to doing it full time,
Right.
because we're not here to hate our lives. We're not here to hate Monday mornings. We're not here to hate Monday mornings and be, jumping for joy on Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. That's not why we're here. Our bodies, our minds, our spirits. We're not here for that purpose. So we talk a lot about love, but loving the process, loving yourself, loving what you're actually doing, and other different things that we talk about. We talk about religion. We talk about your spiritual journey as well falls under here. There's a lot of different things that fall under there. Technology. Here's something that I run into with some of the guys that are a little older in the arts, my age, basically. You know,
Hmm.
I'm sort of a freak of nature. I kind of like technology a lot, but there are some individuals that are my age that really do not operate really well with technology. They just don't find any use for it. They don't want to, they weren't born with it. They weren't raised with it. So they use that as an excuse. But, and George could tell you, George wasn't on a lot of the social media platforms that he is right now. You want to talk a little bit about that now, George, now that
Y-
you actually have
yeah.
a following,
Exactly.
now that you're
You're
a
right.
famous,
I mean,
famous
I was,
creator.
and not that I, not that I, not that I didn't like technology, but I was not a guy who was on social media a lot. John was the social media guru even before I even thought about being on it. I just maybe had a Facebook page or something just to keep tabs on family and whatever and this and that. But then there was a component that, and John and I, spoke about this many times about, what social media can be used for, and how, where there's an audience there, and how we can use it for business, and how we can use it for different things. And I mean, I'm not the biggest social media person around, but I've realized the value of having it and using it properly, and using it to, to, again, going back to helping people,
Yeah.
right, to giving, those of you may know that I do a health and nutrition show as well. That piece, I help people and I talk about health and nutrition, give them tips and tools and things they can use. And social media is a big part of it.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's something I would have never thought about doing 2 years ago.
Right.
So
Yeah. So once you
mm,
actually confront it long enough, then you start kind of realizing the benefit of how you can
right,
actually utilize it to help others. Then it
exactly,
becomes something that you're like, oh, okay, it's not about me. It's
right,
not about me being uncomfortable in front of the thing and doing that. It's about how, I don't want to deprive someone of helping them. If
hmm,
I can do something, and I'm sincere, right? We're sincere guys here that are really trying to help people.
right,
Why not do that? You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that's definitely and just to kind of go into a different area, but like actors, for instance, now are doing a lot of self-recorded tape, send-ins, right? Self tapes, they're called, right? They're not really tapes, but they record themselves doing their auditions and they send them
hmm,
in. Well, it's a different world now. You got to have a
yeah,
camera, that you got to have good lighting. You got to
right,
have a back screen of some type, so you can do your audition. And the people that get it, they don't get this blurry thing where you're like this on the page and you're close up or you're blurry. You know what I
right,
mean? You got to give them a really good presentation. So there's another technology. How many actors are out there setting up little studios in their house? It wasn't a thing until, I think, until the last couple of years it became
yeah,
more a thing. But even before that, it was starting to be used way more. It's
yeah,
a lot easier for casting. And we talk about this also in the blueprint, for casting directors, really love to get those reels, to get those clips, because it makes their life so much easier. A lot of places in New York also, that a lot of these casting agencies, they've actually managed to shut down a lot of their brick and mortar places,
mhm,
because
mhm,
they realize they can actually do a lot of it like this. And then when they find their 10 great people that they want to see, they rent a hall, they rent a room,
right,
they rent a
mhm,
studio for the day that they're going to see 10 people, or the 2 or 3 days, whatever it is, and it just makes more financial sense. So that's happening a
Exactly.
lot too. So as an actor, you got to get out there and you got to figure out how to do it. Now there's a lot of tools on YouTube. There's a lot of things on YouTube you can just type in. Though somebody on there will give you all that. We're not going to tell you what camera to buy and what,
Right.
but we are going to tell you that it has to look good.
Yeah.
It has to look
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah.
It has to be well lit, and it has to have good sound. That's
Exactly.
how a casting director is going to pay attention. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
the tapes that you would mail in, VHS tapes in the old days where you had to mail a VHS tape to Los Angeles. Those days are over. So
Right.
that's a
But
part also.
yeah, no, and just to kind of just piggyback on that, on the even on the musician side, right? When you and I were playing, there wasn't any of this stuff. We
Jeez,
didn't
can
have
you
social
imagine?
media, we didn't have internet, we didn't have any of this stuff. So we literally were grinding out there. We were, going to the producers. We were going out there. We were literally like almost door knocking, basically.
Basically,
Saying,
yeah,
"Hey,
going to a lot of
check
different places.
check
Yeah,
out our CD, check out our music, check out." Now look at the advantage
right.
that these young musicians, young
Yeah,
artists have now.
right.
It's a whole different world.
And that's the thing. We look at technology sometimes maybe negatively. Or some people do, because it's advancing so quickly. But you have to take the portions of it that can really help elevate your message,
Mhm.
help you on your journey, and help others.
Right.
And really just extract that from the technology and just use that. You don't have to go on there and take pictures of your latte and scroll through a bunch of people dancing and doing silly things. I'm very, very good now about not doing that.
Mhm.
I used to, stop and watch somebody tell, I follow comedians, so I watch a comedy bit, but that's because I like comedy.
Right.
I follow musicians, great drummers, great dancers, actors, directors, just filmmakers overall. And that's what I consume on, because that's what I like.
Right.
I don't, and if I see something that I don't like, I will quickly scroll away from it because I'm not interested in I'm not interested. So you have to get that mindset that the technology is there to assist you.
Right.
It's there to help you, but you have to know what pieces of it you're going to extract to help you, because not
Right.
all of it is good. If you're an artist, a painter, well, maybe Snapchat and TikTok are not for you, although I think they
Mhm.
probably could be, but maybe that Instagram might be better and Facebook might be better.
Mhm.
Finding the right platform for you is also a key thing, which we also talk about it in the blueprint as well. Finding
Absolutely.
the correct platform, right? So the next one was havingness. So this is
Happiness.
actually a word. Havingness, you probably know what it means. I mean, it means having, but it also, it's not just havingness. It's having the ability to accept things and be okay with them. you know Being able to have things and be okay with it. There's this weird thing about being an artist that if you want money, then you're not a real artist. I had somebody actually tell me that, word
Mm.
for word, somebody that
Well,
that would come to our shows a long time ago. And he said, well, any artist that's making real money is not a real artist. It's the most ridiculous and stupid thing you can actually say. But at the time, I remember he was really serious. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and and it just made me think, and I just thought, well, that's not okay. It's
No.
irresponsible to not have money. It's irresponsible to not use your abilities to help others and to make money so you can help more people. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because
Mhm.
you think about it, people say, like my favorite color is green, right? Because with green you can buy all the other colors, right? So it's like,
Right.
you want to make the green, you want to
Yeah.
make money, you want to
Yeah.
be able to influence others.
Right.
When you're on social media, if you have some money, you can put an ad out, you can reach more people. If you have some money, you can buy a better camera, you can have better takes for your auditions, you can have better
Yes.
camera. You know what I mean? If you have
Yes.
more money, you'll sound better as a musician, you have a better quality guitar, better amps, better drums. you
Right.
know Money is okay, but we need to be able to have it, and having this is part of that. It also
Right.
means being able to accept compliments, which sometimes I struggle with a little bit.
Hmm.
being able to, if someone says something very nice, I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And I'm much better now, but I would find a way to kind of make me less,
Right. Hmm.
and that was
Yeah.
something that in my brain that was aberrated. It was not a real thing. It was just some BS that somehow got into me, that I felt that and somebody says, "Oh man, that was a great movie." Yeah, it wasn't shot great. I had a little trouble with the camera, and I wanted to shoot 4 days when we only got to
It's
shoot
it's
three.
like that. It's like that thing that you always hear, right? When somebody comes to your house and you're like, "Excuse my mess," I have a lot of,
Right,
"Oh, you should see my house. My house,
right,
I got things all over the place," right?
right,
That's they always say that.
right, right, right. Exactly. Yeah, my house is a big hole cave, and in it there's dead donkey all in there. The house stinks. And I'm like, relax, okay. But yeah, it's that kind of thing that
Yeah.
really does not, you know so now I'm much better at just like, oh, thank you, I appreciate that,
Right.
and let leave it there, let accept it, but there's a havingness to that. It's like,
Mhm.
can I have that?
Yeah.
Can I
Right.
have that? I should be able to have that.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
also I should be able to give that. You know what I mean? We
Yes.
should also
Yes.
give it as well, right? So having this is a big component. There's going to be a lot of sections in there as well. Like I said, by the time this is actually completed, it's probably going to be, it's at 25 now. I'm thinking probably realistically 40, and it'll be a download. It'll be a free download. You guys can actually download it to your computer, and you can read it right on the screen. You don't have to print it out or anything like that. And if you want to print it out, you can print it out. But we might print it out at some point, and we might actually put it into a book or something, and put that out. But yeah, so let's go on to the next one. So that was having this. Yes. Yes. What does that mean? Yes. What are you talking about, John? Well, this is something that I not long ago figured out, and I decided to put it on here because when I was thinking about, we were looking at the word healthy, and we were trying to find things to kind of make it to use the word as a what's it called, an acronym, I guess,
Mhm.
and just use the and yes is a very important word, because a lot of times our first thought when someone, my time, talking about me, if I get asked something, my first immediate thought is no. It's like, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to, like, you know, whatever it is, and our lives are, everything is a flow, right?
Right.
We have flows in the world, right? Like George and I are communicating right now. It's a flow, it's a communication flow, right? I say something, he listens. He says
Mhm.
something, I don't listen. um I said I
It's
don't
normal.
listen.
It's normal.
But this is a flow, right? We actually have this flow going. There's also flows of energy when we're playing music, right? I mean, when
Right.
you're on stage and you're playing music, the sound is one thing, but the energy that you're
It's,
getting from the audience and the
it's
energy that
a
you're giving them,
two-way
that
communication.
flow,
Exactly.
that two-way
Yep.
communication is
Yep.
humongous, right?
Yes.
It is a
Yes.
flow. But imagine if you on stage and you're performing and you hate the audience, or you
Mhm.
just hate being there.
Right.
So that flow suddenly gets stopped. Now you're
Correct.
creating a ridge. You're creating a blockage,
Mhm.
something that's gonna right, and it's
Right.
not going through. So one, the audience is not gonna pay attention to you. They're
Right.
gonna they're gonna ignore you. They're gonna forget you as soon as you put your guitar down. If
Yep.
you have that attitude, right? It's the same thing with any conversation you have with someone. If you don't
Correct.
like to talk to someone, you go to some of the department stores and you talk to the cashier and you ask the question. They do not want to be there. They do not like you. The communication flow has been destroyed. We can't even get and they'll give you the wrong answer, or they'll just try to yes you to death just so you can leave,
Yeah.
right? And it just does not work that way. So what I realized was saying yes to things first, and then evaluating it of what the actual steps are much more healthier way of looking at it. So if someone asks me, John, hey, we need a guitar player, do you want to be in this band? Immediately, No, I was in an awesome band. I love that band, and the only band that I'm gonna do right now is probably something that I'll put together. Do I want to join another band? I don't think so, right? But I didn't do that. I said, okay, you know what? Yes, let me go to a rehearsal. Let me not give them a 100% yes, but you know what? Yes, I will go. I'll check it out. I'll see what the music is like, and I'll see if I like it. And it worked out. I'm playing with
Right.
some great musicians right now, right?
Right.
And
Right.
having fun. I'm not playing enough. I need to start playing more, but I'm getting there, right?
Right.
So it's the ability to say yes, to have the conversation, rather
Right.
than go into whatever it is that we've experienced in the past that has given us some kind of a negative thing about whatever that thing is being asked of us, and then immediately just cutting it and saying no. You know,
Right.
yes is really a much healthier way of going about it.
Yeah, it's a start. It's you're it's the starting point, right? You're coming from a different starting point than you used to come from, right? And
Right.
it's literally two different directions. And if you think about it, this goes back to when you look at all the stuff we have here on this blueprint. At the end of the day, all of it, there's an awareness component to all of it. Every single one
100%.
of these things, there's an awareness. Each one has this different level of awareness to it. But when you put them all together and you really look at it, and you're like, wow, that it does make
Yeah.
sense when you break it down. But so you can take each one of these categories and say, okay, where's my awareness level on this?
Yeah.
Where's my awareness level on that? Just like you've done, we've both done on these
Yeah.
things.
And part of the artist portion of the word healthy, part of it is awareness. As a matter of fact,
Right.
I was thinking of using the word awareness
Yes.
in there, but
Right.
then I thought, well, it's being aware of being an artist.
Mhm.
It's really what encompasses everything. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I
Right.
think
Exactly.
that there's we talk about be, do, have,
Hmm.
right? You have to
Right.
be the thing first, do the work so
Do
you
the
can have the
work so you
success.
can have what you
You
want. Right.
be an artist. So I'll meet actors that'll be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to be an artist." No, you are an
Right.
artist,
Just
or I'm trying to be an actor. No,
right.
no, you are an actor. You're trying to get some work, so then you can have the success of what you are, which is an actor.
Right,
Be
but a
the
lot of them
thing
wanna go a
first,
lot of them wanna go from and even if they wanna go to have
right? Because a lot
without
of
the
people
do.
they actually want to have first,
Right, that's
right?
their
Or
process that
no, the way it goes is I'm doing acting so I can
right,
have success so I can be
like,
an actor.
yeah, right,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? It's
Yes.
completely ass backwards. You
Yeah,
have to you have to really control the beingness of who you are. You have to say,
yes.
I am this.
Yeah,
I am an actor.
right,
I'm an actor, I'm a musician, I'm an whatever it is. And really own it. Really
yes.
say I am this thing, and then find the path of what you're gonna do to do the work. And then
Exactly,
just
and
keep doing the work. You'll spend a lot of time in the do,
right,
right? Because you got the be, you're going to spend a lot of time in the do, and then eventually you will get to the have.
and this is also part of this also is conversations even having with your loved ones, with your wife, with your
Oh,
mother, with your
that's in the
father.
blueprint too.
Exactly. The conversations because I've been there. Okay. My wife, my wife when we first started dating and we first got married, right? And I was playing and I was out there and we were doing all these things. Yeah, she had a great time, but her family as far as looking at me as a musician was like, "Oh god, he's going to be. But my wife knows to this day and we have these conversations and I told her, I am an artist. I will always be an artist. And even if I'm not playing music, let's say I'm not playing with a band right now. Let's say I'm always going to be creating something because
Always.
I just have to. It is a part of my inner being. If I'm not creating, I'm dying.
Correct.
So this podcast, all the things that we do on this end, this is part of that. This is just an extension, really,
Yeah.
of all that stuff that I did. And she understands that. And it took her a while to kind of get the concepts,
Yeah.
but now she understands me.
Yeah.
And she says this, yeah, this, and she even says it herself. She says, you're a creative person, you're an artist. This is what you have to do. So
Right.
go do it.
Right.
So, but part of the whole thing is having also those conversations.
Yeah. 100%. And I think it's also being able to say exactly what you have to say early on. And I
Hmm.
talk to young people
Right.
all the time, especially here in Nashville. I've met quite a few of them. And my conversation is always like, make sure that whoever's in your environment knows what your purpose is.
Yes.
What do you want?
Right.
Because if you especially if you're dating them, or if you're married, or whatever the situation is, they have to know what you. And I had the same situation, with my wife as well. You know what I mean? It was, my wife is an artist,
Hmm. Right.
but when we got married, she wasn't really painting, she wasn't doing the
Right.
amazing things that she's doing now. um but I knew she was an artist, she knew she was an artist. It took a long time to get there, and now she finally understands it. Now that she's creating and she's selling paintings and she's got her website and all that stuff, now she's on board with understanding that, but it took a long time
Yeah.
to get
Sure.
that, and we did have the conversation early on, and
Hmm.
it sounds crazy, but I would rather not be alive to not do art,
I agree.
because then
I agree.
what am I
You're
doing
right.
here? You know what
You're
I
right.
mean? Going to Taco Bell and just sitting down watching Netflix, you know what I mean? It's like I can't do that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Binging.
what's that?
Binging on
Yeah,
Netflix.
binging on Netflix, eating gorditas or whatever they're called. It's like that's not even a Mexican thing. You can't go to Mexico and be like, "Can I get a gordita?" No, everything's gonna be like, "Yes, hombre." Um, so anyway, so yeah, very important to have that conversation early on,
Yes.
and
Yes.
to maintain that awareness
Right.
throughout the whole thing. I mean, this blueprint is going to talk a lot about awareness. It's going to talk a lot about where are you at the moment and where were you last month, because you have to see where you were. So are you moving forward?
Hmm.
And that's a very important thing. And are you happy? If you're aware enough and you can look back and say, 10 years ago I was here and now I'm here. That's a great thing.
Yes.
That's a really, really great thing. I was just having this conversation about about my situation. Like, if I grab a snapshot of my current life right now, at my age, just my wife, my kids, where I live, my car, my church, my the show, all everything, a snapshot. And I take that snapshot and I go to 1986, John of 1986, and I show him, this is your life in this many years from now. You know, um, I know that guy is going to be pretty happy
Yeah.
at what he's going to see.
Hmm.
Like, wow, I
Yeah.
have that. That's my wife. Those are my kids. That's my car. You know what I mean? It looks,
Right.
that's crazy. You know what I mean? And that to me is awareness. You know, so when you're developing your craft and when you're working on it, know where you are at that moment, because you're gonna look at that moment again in another year, or in another
Exactly.
week, or in another day, or another 10 years, and you're gonna say, what did I do that day that brought me to this point here? And
Exactly.
that is really, really vital. And this blueprint is going to actually have that as well. There's a big bug in here. Get away. This is Tennessee, and we are in bug season. So in case if you see me slapping around something, it's a bug. Anyway, this blueprint does not contain bug information, how to kill bugs, as you can see.
Yeah, you can find that on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna have to revisit the blueprint, and I might have to add a bug section.
Bug section. Yeah.
Um, but yes, okay. So we are approaching. Well, we went over an hour,
We're well beyond that.
well beyond an hour now. But if you are still here and still watching this, we thank you tremendously, and we love you for it, and we really appreciate the uh, the love that we get here, and the positive messages and all that. We truly, truly appreciate that. This blueprint is going to be ready soon, and we will have a website that you can actually, well, it'll be on our website.
Hmm.
So you can go to counterpartsshow.com, and you'll be able to download it right from there. And like I said, it is free. Just join our. You come in, you put your email. We'll have to send it to your email,
Hmm.
and then you'll have it, and it'll. And if it's not for you, get it for someone else.
Pass it
Forward
on,
it to
right?
them.
Yes.
It's like, you don't have to be, in that position to like, but just get it and forward it, and I
Yeah,
think that that's really important to
agreed.
just get it out there. And again, if anyone has any questions, George and I right now are pretty accessible for people that want to uh, talk to us and have questions about things. They can also come to our show here and ask questions when we don't have a guest. We'll do shows. We'll answer questions. They could also email us. Our email is what's our email?
You can
It's,
actually you can ask a counterparts show at protonmail.com.
oh yes, counterparts show at protonmail.com. I think I have it here somewhere. I should probably put it there, but but they can also reach out to us at our
Yes.
website as well.
Yeah, you can just go to the website as
Yeah,
well,
website.
and
Well,
yeah,
it's
go to the
down there
website and you
anyway.
can just put in your information and put whatever
Yeah,
you like and just send it. Yeah.
yeah. So we'd love to assist and help you through. We are available and accessible as of or available now. I expect George and I are probably going to be extremely busy in the years to come. That is our goal, where we're going to be super busy doing stuff. So get us now while
Get
you're
us now.
busy. Yeah, because it's gonna get wild.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you very much. We love you. We will see you again next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For George Batista, I am John Henry Soto, and all of us here at Counterparts. Thank you, and as always, peace.
Peace.